Hello. Hello. Welcome. Give me a moment here to get ready to talk to you guys. All right, let's get started. Let's talk a bit here. So, let's get started with everything that has happened. Well, we'll try to sum up the gist of things, and you know, that way we can organize things a little bit, and we can fast forward through everything in between that sort of didn't add up and get to a certain point. So let's go ahead back. Initially, a lot of the scams and things that I had started to see happening to me, happening to this channel, were things that I obviously didn't recognize initially as scamming, that nobody does, and that's kind of the point. You recognize it and see it as trolling, and that's what I'm here to tell you, and I've been here to tell you for a while, is actually not happening. This is not that, and even trolling itself has almost disappeared into nothing, where people don't even really kind of joke. They don't really can't even understand where it came from and jokingly troll anymore. It's actually kind of taken on this whole thing of itself, where it gets darker and it's actually just kind of harming people and stuff like that. So let's just go back and talk about some of the stuff that's been going on with me, and specifically what's been happening with me, and some of the facts that have led me to you know, everything that I've come to understand about my current situation and what's happening with me, and some of the stuff that I was talking about earlier too, that I said to kind of get a certain reaction out of this person that reacts in this manner to what I say, and things like that, and again show you what YouTube does in response as well. So I also think it's interesting that we're in this vertical swipe feed here, and we still haven't seen a single concurrent the entire time I've been in the stream, so that is very interesting. So YouTube is going to sit here and do this to the stream. Hold on. So basically, the message to you all is that this is Google doing this. It's being facilitated through their company, and This is very bad. Okay, hold on. So again, as I came in here, you guys, I've talked about this before. As I came into the stream, I see one concurrent already enabled for the counter in the stream, even though, as you guys could see, the whole time it was stuck at 0 for the counter. So I came into the stream and it just already said 1, even though you saw that counter not move a single time till I just said it just now. This is the recurring scam that I have seen this platform do to me throughout the entire course of my channel. So let's go back and again discuss some of the stuff that has happened to me, to my family too, but that I've recognized are scams happening on this platform. And again, you know, I want to reiterate, this is just them adapting and trying to adjust to us, you know, talking about this. Again, we're not in any type of swipe feed. There's nobody in here. The view isn't even being recorded. Yeah, it's I'm looking right at the control room. The view's not being recorded. So like that's what I'm talking about. We're not in any type of swipe feed. There's nothing actually happening with the numbers or anything like that where we're being counted with everybody else. They're sort of kind of sitting here and not doing anything with the stream because they know what we talked about last stream, and they're sort of kind of censoring it, if that makes sense. So that's what I want to kind of like reiterate to you right now. So this is actually part of the whole thing. Okay, this is part of the whole thing. All right, so this is part of it, and that piece of information is important to know. So it is important to note that we are slightly being censored here. So like essentially, the view is not being counted. I'm still seeing a 0 for total views on the stream, even though you can clearly see the one concurrent that's in here has been sitting in here. You can clearly see it is being counted, yet that view is still sitting at 0. Okay, and this affects the trending. Okay, so this is part of this whole thing that we're getting to. But again, normally you guys, we would see a spike in, you know, like a whole bunch of concurrents in the stream by now, right? We would see a ton of people in the stream. We would see by about like 2 minutes, 3 minutes in, we would see a huge spike of concurrents in the stream. And here we are 8 minutes into the stream, and all we see is 2 views now suddenly out of nowhere. And have we ever seen a second concurrent show up? No. Yet suddenly they just threw 2 views at the stream randomly, just even though there was no second concurrent. So the point is, they recognize, yes, they are hiding these concurrents. There's nothing about this that's accurate. And so again, I just want to, this is part of it, okay? So we have to try to organize this in a way that makes sense. So I needed to start this with that. I needed to start this with, yeah, flat out, this is not normal trending. Some other people have had issues with this too, where they start a stream and there's just like obvious censorship. YouTube literally knows what they're about to talk about because they were talking about a little bit about this. So then they're about to talk about it again, maybe next stream, and then bam, censorship. Just nobody, just completely lying about it. And YouTube won't have a policy for it. They'll just censor you. So this is very important to note this. Very, very important. Because this is part of the whole scam. So let's go back and I'll take you back a little bit. Let me also start with some of the things that I say at various times are meaningless. You have to realize that they're for a type of reaction that I am getting. And I am getting this reaction. So do I hope somebody does something illegal and doxes people? No. Am I saying things that people are allowed to say? Technically. And I'm being harassed, stalked, censored. And so like you have to realize like there are other women, there are other people, not just women, but people in general. But let's be honest, who gets stalked? You know what I mean? Like, so think about the demographic. There are a lot of people on here that are vulnerable to these sorts of situations, and this is why I'm calling this out, because I've noticed a huge definitive pattern specifically with this even one person, that this person is able to do all of these things just because there's this other talented botnet following this person around and allowing this person to do all of these things. Very, very bad. So let's get back to the beginning. Let's get back to the beginning. And we'll get back to why all of this happened and why I arrived at these conclusions and stuff like that. So, going way back in the beginning, I noticed that there was this definitive weird sort of reaction out of YouTube. Not people, YouTube, where their system reacted a certain way. Does anybody ever see that? You get a message in the system, you have your control room up, your live control room up, and it gives you a message that doesn't make any sense. And you can't really explain it. And you're sitting there reading it, you're like, what the fuck does that mean? I started kind of picking up on the fact that this seemed to me like a way for YouTube to try to figure out who doesn't know what they're doing. Because certain messages, if they say them, yeah, you would know exactly what somebody's doing to make that happen. But almost nobody would. Almost nobody. And nobody would be that creative to think, that's a scam. Like, they'll just think it's the system malfunctioning or something like that. That's why. And that's why we need to get to this point. Okay, so I noticed early on that, like, alright, you'd say certain things. There didn't appear to be any reason why the bitrate would shift around or anything like that, but if you talked about certain things on stream, just if you talk about certain things, the bitrate would shift around all over the place. And that doesn't make any sense. Because I then sat there and I researched heavily YouTube's rules and stuff like that, and there was like literally nothing in there about them cycling your internet because you're talking about, you know, like certain things, you know, that you can't talk about. No, they'll just have things they do. You know, they'll remove that stream, or they'll strike that thing, or they'll have a reason. They'll just do that thing. Okay? So I noticed that wasn't happening. And then what I started noticing was, as I would put in reports for certain things, like I would actually like submit a detailed report, I'd include a screenshot and stuff like that. I'd submit this, but I wouldn't even get any type of kickback email indicating rejection or exception for like, I don't even know, like years. And I kept sending things like this. I kept sending things like this until eventually, like, I just started picking up on the fact that it seemed like there were trolls screwing with streamers that worked at YouTube. That's just all it seemed. It just seemed like that. And I then rationalized that a lot of people, like, over the years, like COVID and stuff like that, were working remotely. And then I started I started putting two and two together. I started going, oh shit. Right. Some of these people. Okay. So I started remembering all the times that I built computers over the years, and I talked to people about things. And some people know, some people have knowledge base on stuff, but then other people will sit there and be so egotistical and arrogant about an entire subject with computers, and they'll just completely ignore something altogether. Okay, so like, for example, let's say you think your virus software is the best, right? And it probably is. Let's say somebody is orchestrating a whole bunch of scams to try to figure out, because they know your virus software is one of the more resource intensive ones, right? Let's say they're trying to figure out some sort of scam and orchestrate a scam where slowly but surely they make that virus software mistakenly use too much and oops. Just like all the other apps that you see them shutting off. Oops. What if it's that simple? So I started trying to like pretend like I didn't know what was happening. Basically, I started talking about the Kaspersky thing because obviously that was the get. I started talking about, if you know about the Kaspersky thing, I was streaming for like a year on Kaspersky, and then when I got an update, I found out basically my UI updated, and it was really weird because it shouldn't have. I was like, I didn't get any type of notice about that. Here I found out it was supposed to have updated a whole year prior, and it's actually on the old version of it. And then this is when, after announcing this, I did that on purpose. After announcing this, what they did then was they somehow figured out a way to backwards update Windows over and over and over and over and over and over for like so many times. And this is what was causing all those driver issues I'd have where like in games, maybe you came in the stream and I was like yelling about a game acting a certain way. They did that by causing some sort of problem with Windows. A lot of the crashes over the years that I would have at convenient times, yeah, they were orchestrated. Sometimes not, but yeah, all it takes is well, I'm not going to say too much, but you get what I'm saying. So let's fast forward a little bit. I started taking action to saying, sir, I started catching on that they were specifically triggered for some reason. I didn't even try this. I started complaining all on my own about a certain president and trying to not be rude or disrespectful, but actually be intelligent. And they caught on that I was respectful and people were listening, and this was bad for them. And no lie, started having like all these nasty, like very obvious doing things, like trending it to nasty people to come in. And I remember specifically one time where I was like sitting in a parking lot somewhere, like 3 or 4 separate people in real life drove past me and said, wow, cool stream, man, and stuff like that. How did all these different people know that I was, they pulled up in cars separately? And so what you have to start recognizing is what they were starting to do. And anyway, let's just fast forward past that. Let's move past that. Don't think too much on that. Let's move past that. After this starts to happen, what we see is a very triggered person where all of a sudden this person that was just a mod on the channel for a little bit because he was helpful in chat and stuff like that flipped it on its end and started telling people in my chat to go subscribe to his channel, like people that I blocked that were rude to what I was trying to say and stuff like that. And I can block whoever I want and kind of react however I want. I started picking up on the fact that he was doing this with alts. It wasn't actually anybody except him. He was orchestrating all this. So I egged it on a little bit more, and sure enough, yeah, he started telling these alts, they're not real people, in my chat to subscribe to his channel and stuff, and started playing little games. So I just blocked him. I told him, don't ever come back. I tried to move on. And you know, slowly but surely, you know, he made it very obvious. I mean, his trolling got very aggressive right after that. He did the thing where he was liking the stream all the way up to like proving that he has all these alts, like 20 or 30 likes, and then bringing it all the way back down to 0 again. He would do that in the stream, like, so that's why the like thing, I know that's, you know, like that was just happening with him, like right after that. Like right after that, he started that. And like that's why I know with the like thing, that's just him. Like he started that right after all that happened. He started just hitting like, removing it, hitting it, removing it. And then I got him to respond too. Like he came in chat the one time after I was like typing to him, and like I was like, so you admit that it's you doing that. You admit that you're, and like he literally just came in and admitted it on one of his alts that he was using to impersonate either me or one of my family members or something like that. So again, the point was, it was very obvious to me that this person had all of these invasive means of spying, sort of, in a way, and was doing that, and was following me around the internet, kind of, in a way, and then using this means to kind of just harass me and my family and cause problems for my streaming. So that, you know, I'm never gonna sit here. Basically, the point is he wants me to never, and even if I would end up sitting here and make money off of this, he's gonna try to steal that. So basically, the point is, I'm never gonna sit here and make money for the family or my situation or anything like that. He's gonna try to disrupt that and get in the way of that. Like I said, way back, I already met my prerequisite for super chats. Like that's already met. I already had my watch time hours and everything. YouTube, I kept submitting to through YouTube's system the request and all that stuff for them to do, and they just kept kicking the email back, and it was through my own account, and they just kept kicking it. Like it's literally like the FCC needs to investigate this company. Because again, they've never, I have those prerequisites and they've never re-enabled, they've never, so they've always restricted my channel all along the way and proceeded to help this person. Now, here's the crazy thing, here's what you guys need to pay attention to. I want you to really, really think about this. I want you to really think about this. This is what I started to rationalize. Please, please, please think about this. Remember earlier when I said some things that sounded bad and that sounded like directed at a certain person and a certain channel? I don't actually mean those things. That is me drawing out what this person is doing. I'm trying to get them to troll that channel or troll me or something like that in a way and show you that YouTube will promote that. Now, it's up to them to do this. You know, I'm not saying go do that. I'm just hoping that they are so triggered, as they've proven that they are, to go troll Scammer Payback. Because, you know, I said some stuff about Pierogi or something. Like he's sitting here listening to it, hanging on to every word I say or something like that. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the point. Like, no, nobody's doing that. So, like, the point is to show you if this guy is so triggered, he's gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, the whole point is to show you, because I've said this before, I've said where my stance is before. The point is to show you he's gonna try to momentarily, oh, he's doing this, and then show you what YouTube does in response. This is the important part. This is what you need to listen to, what YouTube does in response. They start, and I even see it now, I see evidence of them wiping views off of my graph here in my control room as I say this. YouTube will promote the stream only when you're being nasty, toxic, terrorist-like, but they won't promote it. Like, basically any type of war. Basically, they want war. They promote it. This is what they want. They want content creators fighting and having wars. I just watched all the concurrents that were 2 concurrents in the stream and 3 concurrents be moved down to 0 and 1. I just watched it happen in my live control room. I just watched it happen. every single one of those on the graph in real time. I just watched them take them and move them down. So this is what my point is that slowly over time, these scammers are using what I'm doing here and comparing it and learning, and also without me they're going to do it. It's just going to be worse. It's going to cause problems, hurt people. If I do this, they don't hurt people. Basically, I'm trying to confuse them and make them think that I don't know anything, or I think this, or I think that at times. Oh, it's this. No, I already know what I already said at the beginning. I already said what they're trying to do, okay? So now we've gotten to this part. And the point is, you need to be concerned about the fact that Google does have all your information, and Google does know who this person is doing this, and Google could easily pick up the phone and call the California State Police, which is where they're based, and say, hey guys, we have so-and-so here, and he's been sort of typing somebody's street address and chats, like, endlessly harassing these people, making them feel pretty terrible. We have some state laws for that here in California, don't we? Can we go ahead and proceed forward using that, and then go ahead and call the local law enforcement wherever this person lives, and go ahead and work through that? They're not doing that. They're not doing that. What they do is you'll email them back and forth, and only after showing that they play dumb, that they kind of play dumb, like actually like it's very obvious they play dumb, like it's an act. After showing that, only then do they email back and try to like act normal. They actually will email me. They've done this after I showed how stupid they looked. I literally showed that they ended so many different email chains and never helped me with something after saying that I reported them to the FCC. They then tried so hard. They were like emailing me, but then they were like, it was like really unspecific too. They were trying to make it seem like they were trying to do anything, but they weren't. They were just treating the same loopholes they were trying to create before, where I have to fill out another form. I've already showed you enough things, shown you enough evidence, filled out enough forms. What form am I do your job. Fill out a form. A form. The form that doesn't work? The form that gives you more information that you already have? What the fuck is the matter with you, YouTube? So I just started rationalizing every point along the way that Google and YouTube had every chance, and all they were gonna do was take advantage of those chances at every turn. So this is what I wanted to say to you guys: is what you need to realize is that if you had something happen, you had something go wrong, and it seemed really fishy, I don't think you need to question that. Like I said, the point is, these mess-ups, these unupdates and stuff like that with Windows, who's orchestrating all of them? You know, all the stuff that's unupdating, all those flights that were canceled and stuff, we know of those. I accepted that as a terrorist attack. But you guys didn't. You guys accepted this as coming from Microsoft as, oh, it's a messed up update. Yeah, but how? How? Who did it? Why? Oh, it just, these things, they just happen. No, they don't. Why? And then they blamed it on the original but it wasn't their fault. When you actually research the tech and you look into it, it wasn't that company's fault. It was on Microsoft, it was on Windows, it was on Microsoft systems that this happened. this is the sorts of things that happen when I've already explained to you that on a most basic level, when like Windows can't function properly, like even like things moving around the screen start to stutter around just because you have too many cookies and you need to run a cookie cleaner. You know that you know that Windows and Microsoft are spying on you, and so are the other organizations. It's literally skipping around your screen, and you clean cookies, and it doesn't do that thing anymore. Okay. Too many times I've seen this, and then too many times it fixed itself, and then remember, I said the one thing that always fixed it, conveniently, when I told the one streamer that talks to everybody. I did this on purpose, because I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to go and tell everybody. Now, it's a shame that he had to go and disappoint me and prove that he was... I was hoping that he would prove me wrong and just keep it to himself. And I'd be like, oh, shit. Maybe I can trust this guy. But no, he didn't keep it to him damn self. He went and told everybody. And the next day, that freaking cleaner had ads all through it, trying to make ads pop up every... It's not the cleaner. It's the scammers that all have data brokers in other countries and can legally do this even though they can't. Do you understand? We need legislation for this, yet there's no Democrats to do it. Okay, the Republicans don't care about stuff like this. You really think they care? No, they love taking your money. Trust me. They're not going to do anything about this. Meanwhile, that's what I've been trying to get across to you. And then these people that are doing it are so triggered when I call out the fact that the Democrats are the ones doing anything in our government and Republicans aren't. They're the ones that are so triggered to downtrend what I'm saying, cause a problem for that. This should raise red flags with you that I'm right, that even these folks recognize that I'm right, that they're taking advantage of those situations. They do recognize that Donald Trump is bad for us, and they take advantage of that. That Republicans are bad for us, and they take advantage of that. These guys are idiots, too. These guys probably have viruses all on their phones. Yeah, Mitch McConnell probably has viruses and spyware all over his phone. What an idiot. Sorry. It's the truth. And he's the most corrupt of them all. And this is the point. Nobody... is the Secret Service doing that? Is the FBI looking into that? Probably not. Do they sift through the senators' phones and look for leak? Probably not. Now, the senator's gonna be like, "Oh, you don't have dirt." Well, what are you scared of, Senator? I don't think Bernie Sanders is gonna give a shit if you look through his phone. Why is the guy that works for Trump texting war plans? This is the point, guys. Like if even people that work for our government have to be concerned with texting things, a text message is not safe. You all certainly can at least accept that. Can you follow that logic at least? At the very least, please. Can you at least follow that logic? It just really seems like it's difficult for folks to follow logic anymore. I've been trying to create like some sort of kind of logic trail for anybody to follow, to kind of follow this along with me. And it just seems like that's why I always come back to the education thing. Like like somebody just never really kind of taught people logic along the way. Because like that's just like the deduction skill, you know, like anybody can do that. Seriously. And that's how you exercise the brain, man. It's just the logic. It's just what makes sense, what is fact. What can you deduce that extrapolate through process of elimination from what you see with your eyes and everything else that is fact? Then you have your answer. What's missing? And that's a logic train, man. You can do that with almost anything, and that's what I've been trying to do with this for you guys, is just create a logic train for you. you guys seem to understand trolling. So I tried to do it with that, but like, like how many times can I sit here and be so super obvious, like that this is a real problem, and like, all right, you guys saw in real time that they made up numbers. The numbers were a lie. This is the scam they're working on too. I showed you guys that we got trolled and freaking raided by this botnet. And afterwards, they sat there. It seemed like Google, because they removed all the views and they were doing some weird stuff to the stream afterwards. And these are the people that one day a while back, I had the control room on the screen, and they were sitting there moving that view all over the place. They were making it say negative views, things like that didn't make any sense. The point was to show you that these people, like, the whole point was to have that on the screen to show you what this was, that they were able to just make those say anything, that the numbers aren't being represented properly. They're screwing them up. And it's not through like logging into my account and stuff like that. Do you know how many times so this is the point. They have recognized that two-factor authentication is like keeping them from doing any of this. So they're cloning devices now. And what they're also which by the way they're doing with alternate identities and stuff, which is why I mentioned that. And not just with the cloning devices, but this goes far beyond that. This is like all the wars that are going on and stuff like that. All of the unencrypted traffic that's flying around. It is extremely easy for them to expose that. This is part of it. Part of it is the fact that they're counting on all of this happening. And yeah, again, remember what I said. A lot of this happened right after Donald Trump was elected into office, became very aggressive around the stalker, specifically doing these things. Knowing that there wouldn't be much, backlash federally from that administration, knowing, that they don't care typically about those things. But I'm warning that administration and any administration that they should. That it, regardless of your own ridiculous agendas, it is absolutely bad for anybody. When these guys, like the whole point is, like, you don't want the enemy to have the ability to track the president. Okay, so I've talked about this, but this is the danger. Here's what I have confirmed. I have confirmed that they can lie to me about what my battery says that's built into my phone. The battery indicator that tells me when my phone is to be charged and isn't to be charged, it lies to me about that. And if they can do this, they can control somebody. Everybody uses their phones, and everybody knows that Donald Trump is also one of those people. Now, here's what they don't know. Donald Trump probably has like 20 fucking phones. That guy just pulled another phone out of nowhere. Okay, that's why it doesn't work for him. And they probably didn't fucking know that. You ain't getting to Donald Trump. You really just aren't. The danger, though, is that they're getting to other people around him, the families and stuff like that. It's not okay. We have to protect these people. Look at what he's willing to do to impersonate my family members over the time he did it, and Google didn't even remove him. Remember, he just removed all the stuff that was doxing us and harassing us, and took it down, and then sort of kind of changed his name after he realized how serious it was getting. And His channel's still sitting there. And he has all these abilities to do these things. This is really bad. So basically, the idea that they can do this, they can make somebody plug their phone in or think that it's out of charge when it's not. That's a big one. And because if you know anything about, you know, analytics, like analyzing people and the way people function, which this person very clearly does, yeah. So it's very clear that they're using fake numbers, like I said, with the views and stuff like that, where the views halt. They just completely halt. Doesn't matter how many times we try to get other people to watch it or I watch it. They have scammed that view to just sit there and halt. And like I said, Google is not actually looking at anything. They are not doing anything. They just coast on through. That's what they're doing. They just coast on. Somebody could blow their brains out on stream. Seriously. It's happened before, right? Yeah, like, they don't care. That's happened before. Didn't that happen multiple times? Ugh. So, the fact that anybody can even enter chat, you know, like, using somebody's first and last name as the channel name. The fact that, like, it can't even be that basic. You know, where they care enough that it's that why would you? So what, you don't want to do the work? You don't want to put in all the exceptions and discrepancies for all the people that are already established that might use like a joke name or something like that, and train your system to recognize new ones that are just created. No, you can't do that. You can't do the work. You'll just sit here and you'll harass people and let that go on. And I'll be honest with you, there's been things where they didn't know how to, it was very obvious like they were having some sort of problem, and I gave them an idea on how to sit here and fix this thing. And they did the idea, and what do I get out of it? This? Yes. They've done this. And, you know, like I said, I called out the fact that these scammers were sitting here causing videos that were only like a half hour long to sit there and process for days on end. This was what they were doing initially. And this is what they were trying to do a few days ago, too, when they left it. When I finished the stream, and the scam was to leave it look like it was still live after the fact. So, here's the issue. The scammers are fooling the people that like do this. Like, what they're doing is they're kind of pretending they've done it probably long enough that they've established their way in. They are using fake means like fake warnings and fake screens and stuff like that to come up to trick you into accepting a bunch of cookies. But they're not real. They shouldn't be happening. They're things that you already accepted into before going to that page, yet for some reason you go to that page and now you have to accept some. This is what they're doing. They're taking advantage of, they're trying to find out which ones do that so they can do it too much. and then they're going to put trackers on the one that's the scam that they put in there, and that's what they're doing. They're putting trackers on that scam, and they're doing it to you. They're doing it to me. It's fucked up. So, this is what I've seen all over this platform. And I've seen again, you know, as I sort of kind of sit here and sort of act like you know, oh, I hate, or I actually try not to say hate, because I don't hate anything, even when I'm like acting and stuff. But like, you know, I kind of act you know, like I dislike, you know, like this channel or this person or something like that, because the idea is to get somebody to react a certain way. So I think even in the last stream we had somebody that I've seen multiple times that has been reported, been removed and banned multiple times, and somehow is still coming into the stream, even though his full name, he uses like a real name typed into a channel, and he sits there and he comes in the stream and just types some sort of, you know, like demeaning message or something like that that's supposed to sound personal and insulting. And this person always comes back to show up right when we're talking about this scammer and we're talking about this particular stalker and exactly what he's doing to harass this channel and my entire family. This has been a regular thing. So some of these guys are just following the channel around and watching every single stream now, because they don't want to own up to the fact that, yeah, we have reported this to the police, and they do know that they've been following me around the internet and sitting here watching the streams, hanging on to every word I say, waiting for the perfect opportunity to harass my channel, not troll, to de-escalate my streams, to cause a problem for my trending. And again, this is not something that's trolling. This is something that is an attack. These are scams targeting people that are just trying to have channels on this platform. Okay, again, if YouTube has a policy for it or whatever, fine. But you know, the whole point is these they're just targeting people that want to be able to exist, and utilizing what they know about them. You know, like obviously they're not gonna if they think you don't have any you know, like they think you're a nobody or something, like why would they, you know, like the point is to ruin whatever, to take whatever you have, to try to ruin whatever you're going to be, and that sort of thing, and to try to capitalize on that and then move on and do it to somebody else. And since the beginning, I've seen a lot of these patterns that existed all throughout. It's never changed. A lot of these patterns, they're just the same as they've always been, where I prove it's not the internet. I prove, you know, like all the day that the bit rate was going around all over the fucking place. And then all these streamers were like trolling the concept and stuff. So what I did was I literally got on 3 different streams separately on the same network, and I showed that I could run 3 different streams separately. And then I did the same speed test and showed that the speed test still held up and nothing crashed, internet didn't go out, and the speed test still indicated high speeds with 3 streams running simultaneously. And again, not only that, this is what they count on. This is what we've noticed, what I've noticed. A couple other people too, where when I run the speed test and prove and talk about internet speeds and stuff like that, it's almost like they get greedy, almost like that's what they're stealing. Does that make sense? I think that's what they're stealing from AT&T as well. I think they're stealing internet, and I think AT&T is billing us, and I think they have been for a long time. For internet, they're stealing. So like they take more, they use more. Yeah, because I don't use my data sitting here on Wi-Fi. When the fuck do I use my data? Yet we have this huge data bill. When would I use my data? For what? So yeah, like just things, and then like, you know, like the whole thing where the interference yeah. The interference with the network and stuff like that. Hold on, let me just, I got a message here. Still a message. Okay. So, we've been seeing, again, I've been documenting all through AT&T, all through my cell provider, that these interferences were happening where I was not able to, like literally just complete loss of data. Like them just completely shutting it off. Almost like it's being used completely somewhere else. You know, completely cycling it off from my device, almost like it's being tethered to be used somewhere else. And all the while communicating through AT&T, you know, I got a brand new phone. It is the new model too. Talked to the AT&T, documented through AT&T and stuff like that. The person at the store also confirmed, yeah, like, you're right, thinking that you're going with the right brand there. Like, everybody agrees, you know, like, I'm not the only one that thinks that. Even that guy was like, yeah, I have an iPhone, and I don't even like the iPhone. I'm thinking of switching to that myself. So, like, it was the sort of thing where we even had the discussion about a little bit about some other phones, too, in the current technology, and he agreed with me that I was right thinking that, and this guy does this, too. So, let me just confirm with you right there. Okay, that we've documented through AT&T and gone through the steps with the cell phone provider. Okay, and confirmed now, unless their employees are lying to me and acting and orchestrating scams over the phone where they're hanging up on me, they're lying and saying their entire servers are going down conveniently while I'm calling them trying to report this, and all around reporting this. You know, conveniently somebody has some sort of scam app on somebody else's device on our network that starts to take over their phone, and takes Google Maps out of their device and takes over their whole phone and starts putting its own maps on there and tricks them into, you know, trying to like go here and spend money here and puts ads on the phone, and literally this person loses their navigation and has to pull over and make a phone call, but then can't even make a phone call because again the phone doesn't work, and now their phone is completely scammed and broken. And yeah, we're talking about things like that. We're talking about how on the same cell phone plan These things are happening, and we're talking about how these scammers are trying to get access and trying to scam somebody and trying to fool somebody. So, again, you could not take it seriously and proceed to think whatever it is that you think just because I swear or whatever it is that upset you or offended you so much about the way I deliver these facts. But regardless of whether you like the way I deliver them, it doesn't change that they're happening and that I'm sounding the alarm, because Google needs to be held accountable here. Like, I've already had indicators that if I disappear from this, they sort of kind of use that, almost take that as like it almost seems like they take that as a time for them to just start attacking more almost, but like in other ways, like they're trying to track what I'm doing. So this is very, very, very invasive, and even even when we were talking about all this with the police, that was what at least the officer's opinion was, that all this seems super personal. I'm not going to say anything else about it. I thought he was professional. I have nothing bad to say about the officer that responded or anything like that. It's not on him that, like yeah, we called like 3 times, I think it was, but again, that's not on him. You have to understand, like, that I'm not making that his fault. I'm just stating the fact of the truth of the fact. If I state that, hopefully that gets the point across, that somebody needs to follow up with why the fuck we had to call 3 times. Also, why the fuck I spoke to 2 different other officers. One played phone tag with me and tried to dodge the conversation, and another one I spoke to over the phone, who, after asking me what it was about and finding out that it was political, also indicated that people tend to disagree on that, and very obviously wasn't going to help me, and proceeded to end the conversation and get off the phone with me. I'd love to speak to that officer again, and in person, because I'd love to get his badge number. The officer that came here, though, after calling 3 times throughout the day, and remind you, this is coming from a lawyer. The lawyer said, yes, call them, over and over and over. Doxing is very serious. The lawyer said this. So they need to respond. They need to take that serious. It's very serious. And we had to call 3 times throughout the day. And then finally they showed up. And now, this person has taken all this stuff down and still exists on the platform and is still showing up randomly to type in chat using people's first and last names, just because it's funny for him to do that. Meanwhile, it exposes those people to this botnet and anybody else that's unknowingly in a botnet or a DDoS or being scammed or used. So I'm aware of it. The point is, how many other people are on this platform and completely unaware of it? So you think I'm the... No. The point is, you all are probably part of something, because the point is, I do know what I'm doing, and it took a very freaking long time for this guy to get me this exposed to this network. It took a very aggressive amount of him doxing my address, sharing all of those pictures and information like he did aggressively every day. This is very obviously why all this is happening. This wasn't happening before all that. Oh, no, no, no. We didn't have problems with our cell phones. Never, ever, ever. Nope. Not once. I've documented proof of that too, by the way. Yeah. I actually have some documented proof that there's no interference with another device that they didn't know about. So anybody that wants to contact me, all the while they were doing this, they had no fucking clue that I was documenting that there was absolutely zero interference with another device that they had no fucking clue existed. All while they were interfering with other two devices. So, whoever wants to contact me, represent me, and wants to get a whole bunch of millions of dollars suing Google, I guess, you could go ahead and let me know, because that's pretty obvious to me. When I can sit there and I can document that another device on the same exact network isn't having those problems. Side by side, just the same. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Fascinating stuff, isn't it? Yeah, there's that bombshell that you don't know about. So anyway, that's a lot of what I've seen on here. I've seen a lot of bullshit. I've seen a lot of police acting really weird. All around this too. Now, mind you, again, like I said, I didn't have a single issue with the officer that came here, who actually responded the whole time he was here. Seemed professional. Seemed to take it seriously. I have nothing but good things to say about that interaction. But again, if he wants some information and is actually looking into it and gives a hoot, I think he would have reached out by now. That's what's a shame. So, just want to put it out there that it's really not going to be good at the end of the day when somebody gets in office eventually and does something about this, and then investigates all along the way somebody could have done something. That's all that's gonna happen. They're gonna walk up there and be like, "Why didn't you do something here when you saw this? Why didn't you do something?" Oh, okay, so you let this happen. Okay, why didn't you do something when you saw this happening? Why didn't you do something? Oh, okay, so you let this happen. Okay, why didn't you do something when you saw this going on? Oh, okay, so you let an entire family get stalked, doxxed, and harassed. Okay, got it. There's a lot of racism in the world. It's not just here. It's the world. Just remember that. And racism doesn't stop at dark skin. No, it's all races. People are very racist towards very fair-skinned people. And this has been a common theme. You know, we've seen people in here be really nasty. And there doesn't really appear to be any much reason for it except I'm really white. Yep. If I were a Spanish dude, would you take what I said more seriously? Would you suddenly change your tone? I think you would. I think the world is tired, like, becomes racist when enough white men are assholes. And they just judge other people for it. So yeah, Donald Trump's a racist douchebag. Doesn't mean every white guy is. I can't stand him. But the people kind of doing this are the ones... You see what I mean? They're being misled. It's their views that are misaligned. If you follow that logic, you'll arrive at the same conclusion that I did. That, yeah, people are being misled to listen to this brainwashed jerk. And yeah, it's racism. A lot of it's just that. Because they know that that's how bad it is, not just here, but all over the world, too. So anyway, you know, it's the sort of thing where you shouldn't... I'm somebody that, like, I can take a joke. Like let's talk about this for a second. Because you have to be logical. You have to talk about the problems. The problem is that for X amount of time, we kind of got over this. More cultures were accepting in the United States. Black Americans were becoming more successful. Obama happened. And when Obama happened, there was a lot of just canceling of what Obama did and trying to cancel it just because his name was attached to it. Even though it was a good thing. Even though he was single-handedly one of the greatest presidents in history. And done all these great things. Yet, people use his greatness and his rise to the top, just like they did for Kamala Harris. They use what these people did, this hard work that they did, to bury them because of racism, because of opinions of the color of this. And if I wore eye makeup, covered these dark circles that don't look pretty, yeah, I'd get a lot more views. Yeah. If I sat here and used AI images of myself that are very obviously don't look like me, make me look more attractive all the time, yeah, I'd get a shitload more views. Yes. Absolutely. It's clickbait. Do I knock other people for that? No. Because that's the YouTube cancel rhythm. They gotta do that. But am I gonna do that? Well, do I feel like that's my message? With what I'm doing here right now? I don't think that's my message with this. I might do that once in a while for fun, but I don't think that's my message with this. And that's why, like, the whole point is to try to show you how real I'm trying to be, like, genuinely, it's not like, what do you like? I'm sure there's a lot of folks that are probably like, well, what does he just make? He just like causes a ruckus or something for views or something. It's not the case. I wish I could just stream like I used to, but it just got worse. It got worse and it got worse. And very, very personal too. As the officer noted, very personal. There is absolutely no good reason, and it's nobody's fault to be stalked and harassed. There's no reason for it. There's no good reason for it. There's no reason you should do it. It's evil. You know, it's like it's harassment, man. It's like a method of torture, basically. I mean, like, that's why these laws are established for harassment. Yeah, I mean, like, there's federal laws against online stalking and harassment. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the whole point is that you have to take it that seriously, because people that are evil use this as that type of a method. They use it for that, to manipulate whatever information they're trying to manipulate. The point is, I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna change that shit all the fucking time. Yep. I'm gonna be so random and obscure, they're gonna have one hell of a time with it. I was honestly thinking they would just... They did move on for a little bit. Remember? They moved on for a little bit. But then a certain person made a mistake. And that's why they're back. It is his fault. And he should own up to it. But he won't. So, here they are. And it's his fault. For sure. He made the mistake. Because he's the one that exposed the information, not me. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is now. So. Yeah, imagine, we just won't go there. But anyway, let me just, okay, so the fake number thing, that's very serious. So, like, I've seen indicators that they're trying to make this happen, like during the stream, if that makes sense, so that they can, like, confirm if it worked. So that way, like, I get tricked into thinking the stream, you know what I mean, like the battery displays the wrong battery, so that I keep the device on longer than I should, and then it just shuts off. Because they're mistakenly tricking it to display the wrong battery. Well, what if they can orchestrate this scam on you know, remotely on you know, whatever device they want? Okay, you see the danger there? And let's say that they were weaponizing this. We won't say any specifics. But real weaponization. Real weaponization. Let's say they're doing this. And I'm not talking about displaying numbers wrong. What I'm talking about is that number being displayed wrong because the device knows it should be at that based on what it used, except it's not. Except it's not. Interesting, isn't it? I wish I could say more. And I wish I could say what's happening there, but I can't. The unfortunate part of this is that this person will have orchestrated this and used this. Should I say it? It's all about the planes. It's always been about the planes. That's all I'm saying. I didn't say anything else. Remember they're siphoning so much internet from my carrier that they're making it go. Remember that. And then simultaneously, they're drawing so much power from the device somehow. That device, they're making that device use more power than it should. And now, let's say you're streaming from that device. Now, let's say you plug that device in. Let's say this device has Bluetooth. Think about it. I don't want to say too much. This is endgame stuff. It really is. I don't really don't want to say too much. Really don't. If you take it seriously, I can tell you what happened. But you can't laugh it off. And I'm sure as hell not telling you on stream. I'm telling you not even over an encrypted line. I'm telling you in a blackout room. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you in a blackout room. And you know what that means when I say that. A dark room, blackout room. So that's where I'm telling you. What do they call them? Yeah, it's a dark room. Different than a photography dark room. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's where I'm telling you. Ears only. That's where I'm telling you. Ears only. So, you want to take it seriously, fine. If not, oh well, I guess they'll win. They'll figure it out and they'll do it. They'll just continue to do it. And one day, they'll have a new terrorist attack planned out, And it'll be more than just a couple of planes. Oh, it'll be more than just a couple. Yeah. And it won't just be air. So, they just tried to crash the stream. I'm sure you guys heard that. That was the hack attempt just now. We just had an active hack attempt. Did you hear that? Through my mic and through the device. We had a active hack attempt through Google to end the stream just now. And this is how they have access to this particular stream software. This particular stream software is such that it gives them remote access to be able to attempt to end the stream. They try to end it, but again, I have it still running. So again, YouTube has caused this problem before where they have ended the stream, and they've done this. They've crashed the stream many times, as I've said these things. As we've revealed what their plan is. Here they are, attacking. That was an active hack. And again, it was just an attempt. But all it was an attempt to end the stream. It's not really a hack. I'm just trying to explain it in layman's terms. You would normally consider that's how invasive that is. It's as invasive as a hack. It essentially would accomplish a similar task. Exposure of data, personal data, and stuff like that. Abruptly ending the stream can do a bunch of things. And it might end up telling this person something by doing that. Especially analytics data. Yeah, like, you guys get what I'm saying. So, basically, that's what we just saw. We just saw evidence of Google trying to end the stream. Or this scammer that's in here trying to end the stream. Because that's what we just saw happening just now. Stream health excellent. It's been excellent the whole time. Stream health's been excellent the whole time. You know, just the point is, you know, it's very obvious how aggressive this person gets and malicious they get when we get close to home. So I'm not going to go any further than what I just went with what I think they're trying to do. But I'm sure you guys can connect the dots with what I'm trying to say between the previous stream and this one, with what I'm trying to say with what I think they're trying to do. Not going to explicitly say it, but I think you get it. And again, if you're going to take it seriously and talk to me ears only, I'll tell you what I think it is. But I'm sure your people are smart enough to put that. I swear I hope they're smart enough to put that together. God, help us all if they're not smart enough to put this together. So kind of like I already told you guys, like I keep like doing like very specific, like this is news and politics. And every stream under me just looks like people and blogs. I literally intentionally chose. We even have a freaking Minecraft stream here. Like just every stream under me. There's another game streamer. Here's somebody streaming gambling. Like it's all people and blogs. Like you can just tell it's people and blogs. It's not news and politics. It's people and blogs. So like again, just like pointing out that YouTube is literally just lying and scamming the whole stream to not work. You know, just like earlier when I announced how serious this terrorist attack is. It's probably just Google at the end of the day. That's what you have to worry about. You have to worry about the fact that at the end of the day, it might end up being Google doing all this. It might not even be a scammer. It might actually be Google orchestrating all of this. All of it. That's what you have to be really concerned about. Because YouTube has policies. We've already, how many times did we point out that they have a strike policy for doxing and they didn't follow it? This person doxed me countless times. Thousands of times. Thousands. Yeah. I mean, like, how do you not say that Google is paying this person or doing this? Especially after getting the emails for months and months and months and you just don't do anything. I threaten to sue and you don't do anything. And then, again, we asked the AI if that seems credible. Like, you know, Google should do something and remove this person even under threatening to sue. And they said, well, even more so. Because the threat of lawsuit would have them wanting to do something about that. That's definitely something they would want to take action for, so that way to avoid that. You know what I mean? Like, it even confirmed that set like many times that we talked about this too with the AI and talked to the AI too and confirmed that all this stuff is incredibly bad and illegal and also against their policy. Flat out, they ignore their own policies. And if they do that long enough, like I said, that's fraud. You can't just have policies and state these things and then constantly just go against them. It's called fraud. You have an entire company based on fraud. Everybody that works there is being lied to. Who the fuck knows how they're using your personal data and information? You're just being lied to. Whole companies to be investigated. Fraud, fraud, fraud. And they were. Don't forget about the article I sent you. About how the FCC already did investigate them. Over a decade ago. And they were guilty. Absolutely. And they lied. They actually tried to lie and say they didn't leak data. And then after finding out they leaked more data than they even let on, they were like, whoa. And we're like, okay, all right. We admit we leaked some data. They lied to the federal government. And then the person that was paid to do this just didn't testify. That's it. They just didn't testify. Interesting, isn't it? Almost like Google was like, here's some money, here's some money, here's some more money, shut up, here's some money, shut up. Okay, shut up, here's some money, shut up, okay. So you know what Google's doing with all their money? You know how they, why they're trying to make more money? You know what they're doing with that 30 plus $billion they make on advertising revenue? They're paying people off to keep their mouths shut. Yep. Yep, Google's been up to this shit for a long time. And they're in deep. So that's what I wanted you to arrive at. I wanted to like start this and kind of have a logical conclusion and follow it along the way. And it's pretty obvious. If you have some wits about you, you can follow the logical conclusion. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just Google not backing up their own policies, not even being in accordance with law. Like, there's evidence that they sat there and lied to the feds, didn't cooperate with the investigation. Then after they're found out even more that they were more guilty than they were in the first place, then they're like, okay. So like, literally just left and right, Google looks so guilty, and we have all this evidence over the years of other articles we can find of people being harassed and stalked all over this platform, and Google not doing anything. Never doing anything the whole time. People were harassed. This one teenage girl was being harassed on this platform, this one, on YouTube. And she was being doxxed all over this platform, and then she was killed. And she was killed. Yeah. Nice platform, huh? Yeah. Safe. Safe. So, yeah, that's kind of my point is, instead of, instead of doing something about the evil people, what they do is they facilitate the evil people to hide better. That's it. So they can just hide on the platform and harass people. And steal their audience too, but... Yep. So, when there's real money involved in this whole YouTube thing, you have to rationalize that there's going to be some criminals that are sitting here and that are trying to steal an audience. They recognize that somebody has a lot of ideas and can manifest these ideas over and over and over. So they're going to sit here and create a scam to try to steal that person's audience and just... And that's what this entire person's trying to do. This whole scam was orchestrated for that purpose. Remember, I said he was adding my name. He was disrupting the streams, tricking the streams to bring up an end stream screen to cause the people that were watching to accidentally be counted down into the stream that it brings up next is the one he steals from me and adds my name in it and has all of my family doxed all over it, their pictures and stuff. And this is the point. Like, he's just a stalker that found out some information, and now he's organizing it like that, disrupting things and creating a scam where all these people are cycled into stream. He can steal my viewers and all of my trending, and then also get all of these real people to see me out of context and see me just reacting to the things that he's causing, the technical glitches he's causing and all the stuff he's causing, and then having some sort of crazy reaction to it. And then, yeah, you see what he does, and then you see Google and YouTube facilitate it. You see them throw him views. You see them prop him up. You see how he didn't lose his ability to even stream live. He literally can just sit here on... He didn't get restricted in the sense that he can only have one account. He can't make alts. Nah, he has all these different alts and all these different things. This guy steals people's accounts. What he does. So the part of why he has some of the alts that he has is because he steals people's accounts. Now again, um, I don't have any real indicators he's logging into my account, because I would have some indicators of that. But I do think that at one point that was possibly the case, and I just don't think that's the case now. And I do also think that that is what he does. I think that he steals people's account information, and he has like multiple accounts, and he just literally uses he plays games on them. He steals them on YouTube and uses them on YouTube. I do believe that he does do that. Like I said, this guy, everything that he did actually did break Elden Ring on my Series X. I cannot play that game. I have a physical copy of that game. I physically can't play it. They manufactured a glitch, and the whole point was that I was getting a lot of viewership. So the only way they were going to do that is by either breaking the console companion that was streaming remotely, and I raised a huge ruckus with Microsoft over that. So they had to stop breaking that, and so they just physically broke the actual physical game itself through a scam where it tricks the disk drive into thinking there's something wrong with the disk that there's actually not. All it's doing is bringing up a fake error message. That's it. It's not real. It's just like the error message on YouTube that it brings up. None of it's real. There's nothing wrong with the disk drive. Literally nothing wrong with it. It's fake. This is a fake scam. And the idiots at Microsoft literally think this is their actual console. No, it's a hack. Your consoles are getting hacked through your systems, not through mine. And it is a hack. And yeah, it's all through Microsoft, because it's all integrated. That's why. And no, it's not because I'm streaming. No. Nope. It's not why. All this would still be happening. Because I'm streaming, I was able to actually end up using this platform to start drawing it out and drawing attention to it. Yeah, that's why they disappeared. They were really confused when I started streaming and I just suddenly knew all this stuff. Yeah, I'm not a dummy. I know what I'm talking about. That's the point. They were already working on it. They were working on spying on a few people I knew and keeping tabs on them already and fucking with their devices and stuff. They were already doing it. They manipulated somebody into believing certain things. Like, this is what they do. And so, you know, like, they have real life problems. Real life problems. And, again, I've already documented that through AT&T that they've disrupted their service, and even AT&T couldn't figure out that shit. Yeah. So, again, the initial scam is data, port data into the ports. It's literally just that stream data. That's all it is. They're just cycling the stream data through those ports. Sometimes it's malicious stuff. Sometimes it's you know, like, it's literally just the fact that those ports are getting flooded with data, and then it's causing then certain things happen. Yeah, I think that, again, like I said, they're using YouTube systems and tricking it to flag certain things, and then people go in and look at it. So then when the people go in, they log in, right? There's credentials or something. Yeah, they're probably trying to gain access to those credentials, and maybe are. And then so what they're doing is, as you get in there and you look and stuff like that, they're really quick changing it. Yeah, like, so, like, for you, it looks fine when you go, oh, great. You know, like, It's such a joke. It really is. And like I said, I've seen that number, that view count number, shift around all over the place before. So YouTube is absolutely censoring views and anything that makes them look bad. And that's fraud. You know, if you claim to have a platform for content creators and stuff like that, and they're speaking out about things that are going on that's illegal on your platform, and you're censoring that, that's fraud. Yeah, if I had a business and somebody was doing illegal shit within my business, yeah, I'd be like, let's hear it. Yeah, I'd be like, go ahead. I'd be like, go ahead, let's hear it. Yeah. You know, there was this one time I gave Walmart a really hard time. Really hard time. Because I was driving through their parking lot, and this is going on for years. And there's always potholes. And this time it was raining and one of them was filled and I couldn't see it. And I ran over it and it caused some serious damage to my muffler underneath. And I'd go get it fixed and it was not cheap. And that's pretty upsetting. And I mean, like, that's a danger to other people too. And it was just always like this. I submitted complaints before. And I had submitted that store just seemed like it was kind of being run like that. Like, other parts of the store seemed run down. They didn't really care about certain things. Yet there's plenty of people there all the time. There's plenty of people there all the time. And so I made it a point that it just seems like the management, you know, and so I wanted, like, the whole point was I didn't want to speak to the store manager. I wanted to speak to corporate, because clearly the store manager is going to take what I say and bury it because he's a bad fucking manager. I recognized this from previous experience. All he does is go, oh, thank you, and then bury it, and then try to, like, find some clever way that it's somebody else's fault, and you know, like just really dance around doing anything about it. I've seen it all too many times. And that's what he did for years. It's literally what he did, because I gave him every opportunity not to be like that all the other times I reported it, and all the other times he drove to work and it was like that. How do you not know your parking lot's full of fucking potholes? Okay. So, secondly, I filed a complaint. Now, let me tell you about this next part. This is what I'm getting to. This is the good part. Yeah, this is the part where I flip it. So I got on the phone with Walmart corporate. And Walmart corporate agreed. Yeah. Yeah, the guy was, like, hearing me out. He was like, man, that's awful. He was like, well, let me look into this. He was just, like, super nice about it. He's like, all right, what store is it? You know, he's, like, really calm about it. I'm like, man, this is some good, like, I was thinking to myself, this guy's really good. Like, he's got this calm demeanor. He's like, oh, let me help you. You know, he's, like, so helpful. He just immediately wants to be helpful. It's amazing how that just never happens anymore, isn't it? And so it's just, like, totally different experience. And I start rationalizing, you know, this guy probably gets paid a lot of money. I wonder how much money the store managers make versus the stress they deal with. I wonder. But anyway, I wonder if that's part of it. I don't know. Anyway, fast forward. I talk to the corporate employee, and we have a good exchange, and he agrees with me. They should do something about it. Yeah. And I had other instances too, where I reported things on a store level to Walmart, and employees didn't do anything. Like, they literally, like, it's just like they go back into their old nature. They can't fix, it's just the management can't do their job to follow up on these things that need to be fixed, so they don't get fixed. And then previously it was like, I literally bought an entire thing of expired iced tea that was supposed to be refrigerated, and it was like way expired. And I don't normally do this. I do normally check the dates, but this time I didn't, and I poured it into a cup, and I literally just drank the whole cup. I was so thirsty. It just happened to be one of those times where I just didn't, it just happened that way. Did you ever do that? You're just like super thirsty, and then so like you're expecting goodness, and I got so sick. I got so sick. And it was just rotten tea. Oh, because they weren't rotating. Meanwhile, whenever I'm in there at night, I always see those employees fucking having conversations throughout the store. Parking their dairy pallets on the floor, endlessly sitting there, and they're just yelling conversations at each other and stuff like that instead of putting it away. So, meanwhile, I report this. Again, I get a good response. Corporate's nice. You know, again, like the store didn't fix it. So I saw it as a regular thing, and I called back. And I wasn't irate or anything. I just said, you know, I really think you should keep an eye on this because I got really super sick and yada, yada, yada. And, like, again, really responsive, like, really super nice about it. And I was telling them, again, I'm not trying to get upset at anybody or anything like that. Like, I understand mistakes happen, but this is a pretty dangerous mistake. And you again, like, that's the sort of thing where, like, if somebody really wanted to, they could really make that your fault. And so, anyway, the whole point is that when I did this the second time, Walmart responded very, very well both times and fixed it. When I got a hold of corporate and I finally reported this to corporate, I think within about a year, because they have to talk to the township, they have to talk to the local people, they got to actually get permits and stuff to fix certain things. So that tells me that something's going on with that store manager where he doesn't want to do that. Like, he doesn't like, you know, like something about what he's got to do for that process. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so, like, I don't know what it is, but whatever they did, it fixed it. And their response was great. That's it. And so the point is, you see the difference. You see how people that care about their jobs and just care about listening to the customer and making them happy and stuff like that, the corporate entity that does its job takes care of something, and it's just a problem fix, and it makes the company look better, makes you happier. Meanwhile, all along the way, people are just trying to justify getting away with stupid shit that they know is stupid. They shouldn't be doing. And this is at the level of somebody being paid to be responsible. Somebody that has an associate's degree. Jeez. Not even just a bachelor's, right? Like, a lot of times they have associate's degrees, right? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And then you have other people that'll work for a company for 5 years and get taken advantage of, hoping that they see that and eventually promote you, and then they don't. So you try one doesn't work, then you try the other, and the other doesn't work. The other just fucking closes down and lays everybody off to automation. Where the fuck is... What? At what point is somebody going to actually start doing the right thing? So then you basically, the point I'm trying to justify is that there are scammers everywhere. They look like normal people, yet they think like scammers. They think, how can I get out of, like, doing this? You know what I mean? Like, there are some of us that, like, we just have to do what we have to do, right? Like, there's, like, literally no other choice. And then, like, all these other people, they can sit there and they can make 60, 80 grand a year and just coast on by and say, nah, I'm gonna be lazy. I ain't gonna do that. That's the problem, man. That is a real problem. And that's what I see. I see a lot of guys, a lot of people like that, where these are just people that have a scammer mindset to take your job. And the people that actually take your job. And you know, they didn't work for it. They call it work. I had a really good idea. For something. And I think the company took my idea, and it cost people's jobs instead of them instituting it properly to where you could employ more people. So, again, we can prop people up, or we can let them down. That corporate employee that answered the phone call, took care of things, great. Yeah, improved my opinion of Walmart. You know, the funny thing was, anytime I spoke to somebody in upper management there, they always improved my opinion. Always. Always. A quick story, when I was working super hard at my job where I was a manager, another manager recognized this, actually, and this manager worked for a certain large grocery chain, and this person wanted me to go to a store in Texas, and offered me a job literally right there on the spot, noticing how attentive and nice I was. Literally, she said it was my demeanor. It was all my demeanor towards her, towards the job. She just wanted that and was looking for it. And she absolutely was willing to do almost anything to poach me and put me in Texas. So, if I wanted to leave the people that behind that I cared about, or something like that, or go all the way to Texas at the time that I was here, and there's stuff going for me here, I would have had to leave all that behind. So, I didn't. I stayed. And, you know, it's the sort of thing where you don't look at that as, like, some people that are successful, the successful person's going to always look at that as a mistake, because success is determined by money. That's a shame. That's a shame. Because we got people with success like Jim Carrey and stuff like that telling us that's not the case. Success. Success, okay. What success with what? Obtaining things? Are you happy? No. The point is that success like that is not something you want. Those people are owned. By their brand. I mean, not all of them. The metal bands, fortunately, have the fortunate part of not being part of that whole thing. They just sort of kind of sponsor themselves, don't they? No, but a lot of the time with the celebrity game, I'm talking about like pop stars and stuff, or Hollywood actors too. Yeah. And it's not right. They have every right, and that's why there's so many laws in California against doxing and stuff, because these people have so many problems with this. The entire country and the world, they look at them like they treat them like you have to understand, like, you're doing that. They're not doing that. You're doing that. It's you doing that. They didn't ask for that. Which one of them asked for that? I've heard celebrities specifically ask not for that, for it to be left alone. There's plenty of celebrities that get stalked and have this issue. A lot of them. Sound familiar? I'm a celebrity in a very small country in the world, and I'm not going to say which one it is. And certain pen testers and scammers know this. That's why I get hits with certain things too. I'm not going to say where, but I am. And yeah, it's because I'm streaming. So YouTube sits here and they lie about the views. That's all they're doing. Oh, they didn't watch. They didn't watch. You didn't see anything. It's good stuff. Trying to think if I got to most of it. I want to remind you guys that I don't actually think certain people are assholes or you know, like, I will often say something to see so that you can see momentarily as that person's sitting there being trolling and very triggered, what they will then do as I say that. Because it, even so much to notice that it happens, I do that right when they're doing that, so that way you kind of see, what's going on there. So, like earlier, on the stream earlier, we don't think people are jackasses and assholes and stuff. It's not the case. Again, this is so that you can see what the person does. I was actually hoping he would impersonate him again and violate copyright laws again. But he didn't. But yeah, he impersonated him before. Took his picture, his image. Like Pierogi's actual face. He took that, put it on his picture, and typed Pierogi. I think he typed Pierogi from Scammer Payback or something like that. And he literally was just typing in chat as if he was him. This is what he did. And he's done this to many people. But yeah, he actually did that. So that was what I was trying to get to happen. What I was hoping was that he was actually foolish enough after reporting it to the police, getting everybody aware of the situation, stuff like that. I was hoping you'd actually be foolish enough to come in here and do that shit again, and pretend to be Scammer Payback and stuff in my chat, because yeah, now that the red flags are in the air and certain people watching, keeping an eye on things. Yeah. So I was hoping that would happen again, but it didn't. He didn't show up with any type of except that one time. And that was after I mentioned that I had reported, or was gonna report him to Scammer Payback. So he came in, pretending he was Pierogi, saying they're not gonna help you and stuff like that. They can't help you. He's actually saying they can't and stuff like that. And then it was like pretending like he was Pierogi for a little bit. He was saying, well, I was gonna help you with this case and stuff like that. Like he was like pretending to be him and stuff like that. It was pretty sad. It was pretty sad. So he did that with Pierogi's picture. So that's what I was trying to get. Because like I said, he did that after I had mentioned that I was going to report him to Scammer Payback. Because they don't like it when somebody's like taking advantage of like other people and stuff like that. And she was doing is using other people's pictures and their real names and data and stuff, making Facebook accounts. So that was the whole point, was since I had said that before, and that was a reaction before, I was thinking, previously I've done this too, at various times, to try to get, and you guys have seen it. You've seen the malicious alts show up, or just a random person shows up under a random name to type something nasty right as soon as I do that, or something like that. And so the point is, they want me obviously to think that's Pierogi. Like that's what they want me to think. Like, this scammer wants me to think that Pierogi would actually come in here momentarily, like sit here and listen to all my streams, and then actually come in here and insult me in my chat, all while essentially spying on the streams, sitting here listening to, hanging on every word I say. This is what they want. They wanted me, you know, essentially they want you to think this. They want you to think it's actually him. And it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. I got news for you. He's got better things to do. So that's always the point, is to point out what people do and how people react, because I sure as hell hope somebody with that much responsibility and power to do things on the platform isn't spending all his time screwing around with somebody and messing around and manipulating stream numbers. That wouldn't make any sense. It's definitely way better things he could be doing with his time. Yeah. That's the point. Because it's not him. It's just these scammers trying to convince me and anybody else that, you know, this is like people that don't like me, or no. It's literally all him. It's all him. It's all that. It's always been that. Yep. So, definitely got lots of censorship going on here at YouTube. You can see the concurrence cycle down to 0. There ain't nobody in the stream, and they lie about those concurrents. So even if people go in the stream, it ain't gonna count. And they're capped too. So if there's any more than 2, if you gain a third one, it cycles it back down to 2. That's the scam. So that's also something we've seen a lot of, where they'll cap the concurrent. What I mean by capped concurrence is what I just said, where anytime somebody comes over a certain number, it only hits that number for a second and then jolts back down. And then if it happens again, it jolts even further back down. This is what we see, because we've seen evidence of people actually being in the stream, saying they were in the stream for X time, and even by typing too in chat, and it just said 0 the whole time they were in there. I've confirmed this with devices I've used, and I've said this multiple times, and the many times I've said this, every time I've said this, you've seen those 2 concurrents instantly show up in the stream. Well, it didn't change. They instantly showed up again when I mentioned this again. So this hasn't changed. This is what we've seen. Evidence that YouTube and Google have trackers on certain things that we're saying. Things like this, where it's very clear these scams are happening, and they've typed in these trackers based on this scam. How would they have this in there where instantly these concurrents show up right when we say these things, if they're not premeditated, if they're not doing this beforehand? Oh yeah, it's all orchestrated, it's all premeditated, it's all a scam. This is all a completely fraudulent platform that lies and exposes Americans to scammers. Like I said, you know, people on here get stalked and harassed, and nothing happens, even though they have policies for that. For an entire year, this happened. Doxed my street address, typed into the title of somebody's YouTube video, just right in the title, my street address. For a whole year, basically. Reporting this to YouTube, them doing nothing. Just a whole year. And they didn't remove the person. Nope, this person is now still on YouTube, coming in my chat, still doxing people with their real names typed into the title of that channel. Just like he would do all those other times, impersonating family members to dox them in the chat, pretending to be them. So again, the state police, we're called. If we need to get the body cam footage, we will. I can get that anytime I need to. That's mine to have. So we can get that and, you know, go from there, I guess. But it's pretty sad when YouTube's based out of California, and California has a ton of laws for this stuff. A ton. Absolute ton. They're based out of California. It's happening on their platform. They're liable. So, basically, do I have to spell it out? Basically, law enforcement has to contact whoever they normally contact in the Justice Department on their behalf, you know, lawyers and stuff, whoever they go through, to get the information that they need to get, that they're legally allowed to get to press charges against YouTube and Google in their area. Because they're the ones in violation of their own state and federal laws. So, I mean, that's a big one too. But I'm gonna probably get a drink. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else I need to get out and tell you guys for this one. I need to get a drink, but that might be all we need to cover for now. I just wanted to try to, you know, get from what I did see, what happened, and then, you know, like what's been happening lately and all the other scams I've seen on here. And again, there is definitively proof I have. I'd call it proof. Proof enough for, what do they call it? I don't know what the code word is. Whatever code word you need to understand that this is not something that you would, it's top secret, basically. That this is ears only, that you would not say this, or it's dangerous to put this information out there. The fact that other people could do this and find out, anybody finds out that they can do this, it's dangerous. So yes, I do have confirmation that there is something like that they are doing, and it's never happened before, and it's all happening around this. And yes, it's dangerous. Yes, it's not what these trolls randomly show up. It's all in his head. What random troll shows up to say that, except the one that's doing it? Yeah, you've never seen him before. You know, he's not a regular on the channel. He just shows up on an alt made today to say it's all in his head. Yeah. It's pretty bad. And, I get that there's trolling going on, but there's also a real situation going on, and I'm not talking about chat or anything to do with YouTube. I'm talking about attacks. I'm talking about things broken, damaged, real attacks. Destruction. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else. About that, anyway. But yeah, I think that's about it anyway, as far as, like, in general is concerned. And, it is very clear we have censorship on this stream, and the views are capped at 2. Just like I said, when they censor something, those views are capped at 2. You can just see it. It's not a normal trending where it's going up or down. It's basically a flat line of 2. We've also seen a 4th concurrent in here, and they're just lying about that. So you remember when we saw 4 concurrents in here earlier? And yeah, they're lying about that. They're lying about that. So here, I'll show, like, remember there was 4 concurrents at one point. YouTube just lies. Yeah, YouTube just lies. So. See how it's literally just 3? Three is the highest. 3 is the highest concurrent that you will see. Three is right here. And we hit 4. And they're just fucking lying. Never at any point does this graph hit 4. They're literally just fucking lying. And only even for that split second did it hit 3. So I don't know how many times I can show you that YouTube is lying about my numbers to help the scammers. Yeah, I don't know how many times I can show you that YouTube is lying about the numbers to help the scammers, but yeah, there you go. There it is. I mean, we saw 4 freaking concurrents at one point, and again, there's nothing above 2. And they're flat out lying about how long these people are in here. They're just flat out lies. So there it is. There's your proof. I mean, we've been showing this for a long time. That this is a scam. So there it is. There's the 3. right there on the left. Here's the 3, the only 3 in the whole stream, and there's never a 4, even though there was. And that's why they're trying to delay and break that concurrent counter, and that's why they always try to do that, because they know they're trying to remove every evidence of them being in the stream, because it's all just them. So, there's your proof. Right there it is. We've been showing this for a long time. We've been proving this for a long time. This ain't nothing new. No, we've been proving this for a long time. This is nothing new. We've been showing this for years. These things not adding up. Yep. And then the scam is that they trick YouTube's system to display something incorrect here. That's the scam. It's always some type of scam. Get it flagged, get it reported, whatever. Yep. So that's it. And then thus you see the result here where it tricks YouTube's system to flag the stream mistakenly, and it's all just scams. Again, we had 4 concurrents in here at one point, yet it says 3. And they're just fucking lying about this. I mean, there's 41 views on this stream. There's 41 views on this stream, yet on the stream that we did last night, at the same point, we had hundreds. Gee, I wonder if YouTube is censoring the fact that we're talking politics, even though they have a politics section, and we're using that. And you can clearly see that I did not lie about that. It's literally right there. News and politics. I fucking told you. Yet when we were going through the swipe feed on my phone earlier, why the fuck was everything a person? Why did it look like people in blogs? Gee, I wonder. Gee, I wonder. Gee, I wonder. So, this is the stalker being paid by Google to do these things. This person that was stalking my family is being paid by Google to do these things. And they're in here doing this constantly. They're doing all of these things. So the question is, what else is Google getting up to? While they let people violate their own policies and then go into hiding, all while claiming, just not answering messages, not dealing with things, backing up their own policies. And federal law, too. Wow. Disgusting trash company. Here's what's funny. This is why I mentioned Walmart, is because when dealing with Walmart and their corporate, they fix things. Yep, they actually fix things, and they're courteous and they understand. YouTube, no. Nope. They do not fix anything. Nope. They don't fix anything. They're not even answering that message to fix anything, because they can't. They don't know how to fix it. They are not there for that. They are there to pretend to answer your message. I'm serious. They are not there to try to fix anything. They are there to pretend to answer your message and pretend to fix things. They are there to redirect. That's literally their job. They do not fix things. And that's, again, this is Google's business model. So this is why I recognize Walmart as a good company now, because again, they started paying people more and paying people what they were worth, and then, not, I report things to corporate and they suddenly care. It just seems like individual people that act this way. You know what I mean? And just like I said with YouTube, totally different. Where it's very clear the entire company is in on this. Because 19, 22 something email threads. I got an email thread with 19 different emails. I got one with 20 something emails. I got a completely different one with like 11 or 12 in it, talking about all the same thing, and they never actually did anything about it. This assured me that it wasn't happening, all while it was happening. Yep. So anyway, let's get everybody on board, because again, this affects us all. I don't really want to be here doing this every day, but I'm going to. That's what it takes. Because this person has to be stopped. This thing that's happening is a very serious thing. I mean, I already mentioned the seriousness of the cell devices and what they're able to do with that. I'm not going to mention the seriousness of the actual attacks. There's definitely far more serious things than the whole cell phone disruption. And I'm not going to go into that. It's crazy. So yeah, Google basically commits acts of terror against U.S. citizens, it seems like, and facilitates terrorism. And all the while, the FBI is totally aware of all of this too. The FBI is completely aware of all of this. Isn't that interesting? Totally aware of it. I'm out of here. I'm getting off here. Protect yourself. Don't give people personal information. And there's a lot of fake screens coming up lately, asking you to accept cookies and stuff like that. Think twice about that stuff. Because a lot of times they're just getting you to accept them like 2-3 times in a row, and it's just the same ones, and they're putting trackers on them. You've already accepted them. It's going to mess up your stuff. Appreciate the support. Again, it's very serious what they are able to do. And it's not because I'm giving them the information. That's what I want to reiterate to you. Again, it's not because I'm giving them the information. They would get it otherwise. Yes, I am screwing with them. I'm often giving them invalid information. So anyway, I hope that this, it's the sort of thing where Google's going to do everything they can after the stream to de-escalate, remove the views, lie about them. We already confirmed that we had 4 concurrents in here, and it's not anywhere on that, it's not anywhere on this graph. They're lying. Literally says 3 is the highest one right here, and it doesn't even go up to 4, which is this top bar. It's literally just a fucking lie. And we saw 4 concurrents at one point. We've seen many concurrents throughout the stream. And the point is that we get more than this. Like, this is chump change. Guys, we normally get hundreds of views. Like I said the other night, after they very clearly did some due diligence to one time momentarily fix it. Like I said, that's what they do. They put a band-aid over it and fix it like once or twice, so that if somebody really was investigating and looking into it, it looks like there's no problem. Yeah, so that's what they did last night, and you saw the hundreds of views we started to get in the first couple of hours, and then they just started doing their nonsense again, because we started getting hundreds of views, and this triggers the scammer into trying to cause a problem for those views, because they are triggered by us doing well. That's it. This scammer is triggered by us doing positively. I'll say that again. This scammer and stalker is triggered to do what he does because we are doing well. He wants us to do poorly. He has actually stated this. He came in my chat. He used to come in my chat all the time, ask me if I was tired, draw attention to me being tired, try to draw attention to the way my face looks or something like that. Again, we all know that this person very clearly is making a scam out of other people, and it's defamation of character sort of situation, where he's then stealing all of my streams. You put my face in thumbnails and stuff like that. We're going to go ahead and continue following this lawsuit against Google for allowing all of this and facilitating this person to use my face and use several other people's too. We already know that he's used plenty of people's faces for things, impersonating people and stuff like that. So yeah, Google facilitated this, and again, you can clearly see them lying about views. As we talk about this, you see the 1 view cycle in and out, and then it doesn't even count down below. Yeah, you see the 1 viewer cycle in and out as if they can hear what I'm saying as we say that, but then they don't count the view. They cycle in and out. You don't even see it count down here. It just says 0. So like literally just this 1 viewer that they send in here, this bot or whatever, like you see it cycle in and out and just like 0. And then you see the viewer suppression too, as we continue to talk about this very serious subject that Google is allowing, that this is happening on Google's watch. It makes them look bad because, again, Google is facilitating the fact that scammers and stalkers are doxing my street address and exposing other people's information and facilitating acts of terror against U.S. citizens right here on their own platform. So, here you go. You see the viewer suppression, literally just making it up, completely fucking lying, taking away the views, and then you see the 1 viewer actually come in here again for a second time now, and then leave without the view counting for a second time. You see that same viewer come in here and leave without the view counting a second time, and you see it down here not counting again too on the graph down below. You see it says 0. So, yeah. There you go. Viewer suppression. That is absolute definitive proof. There's nothing else to say about that. You can literally just see that they came in 2 separate times. This graph didn't even move even a little bit. This view hasn't moved. They are literally fucking lying. This stream is scammed to only be capped at a certain number of concurrents. And if we continue talking about a certain subject, all that happens is for every concurrent that comes in, it puts it down to 0 and scams it even further at 0. It is a fucking scam. Yep. And the purpose of this scam is to find out what you are using to hide. Yes, they want you to come in on your devices that they know it's you coming in. So now, since they've hidden everybody's views, now you're going to come in and confirm if it's working. So now when you come in, they know it's you, and they ping your IP. They actually ping it right then and there. You come in, they know it's you, so they come in, they leave. They come in, they leave. They try to clear it out so that they know definitively it's you. This is the scam. And this is why I know that they're trying to get to certain people, too. YouTube and Google are facilitating this scam. They are orchestrating this. There is no other reason for this person's view not to count. This is Google. This is YouTube. Not counting views from their end of things. I have nothing to do with this. This person could not do any single thing to my account that would cause this to happen. This is YouTube. This is YouTube. This is YouTube's server intentionally lying about views. So that way, again, they confirm, and this scammer confirms that works for YouTube and works for Google, can confirm when you come in the stream. They're going to get your IP address. This is what the whole thing's been. Remember, like I said, when a certain streamer confirmed with me that he watched the stream and it didn't move, or he liked the stream and it didn't like it, or something like that, and then he would message me in the chat and let me know, or something like that, and then all of a sudden YouTube would instantly clear all of the viewers out of the stream and take it instantly down to 0. Do you remember that? Do you remember all the times that the scammer did that to learn his IP address and learn his device? Remember that? Remember when YouTube and Google facilitated that scam for other streamers to be tracked? Remember that? And all as I'm saying this, we can confirm that this person came in the stream multiple times. You see the one viewer coming in the stream multiple times and it never counting. Huh. Fascinating stuff, isn't it? Really, really, really fascinating stuff, isn't it? We've seen that viewer come in here multiple times. Multiple times. And yet, here's a 0. It's actually said 0 since, well, geez, about the past 15, 20 minutes or so. Meanwhile, this one concurrent's been in and out of here multiple times. And long enough to see it. What a trash platform. What a disgusting platform that lies about your views. And again, this is all money that they owe me. Remember, they have not allowed, they've sat here and locked the channel. They don't have any reason for not giving super chats or anything like that where you can make donations through you. They have no reason. They've given absolutely no reason. None. I have prerequisites. You know, Google's just going to be sued for essentially never honoring, like essentially just never honoring their own license agreements. We've had YouTube licenses YouTube copyrights on our streams for years, and they're sitting here not paying me for any of it. They're running ads. They're not paying me for any of that. All kinds of stuff that they're not paying me for. So again, all we're going to do is prove that they did not allow super chats, rejected these things without actually rejecting them. Like, essentially just like never actually doing them. Basically like laziness at YouTube, where they don't want certain people to be streamers because they can just be then they can just be lazy and stalk people all day long. So that's the point, is if I'm a streamer, I'm going to call them out on all the things they don't do, and so they'll have to actually do their job. So that's why they don't want me to be a streamer. This is the result. This is what you see here. You see instantly 2 concurrents come in the stream as I say this. And again, for the past 15-20 minutes, you see absolutely nothing. Why do we have instantly 2 concurrents? Instantly. Why is that? That's interesting. Nothing for the past 15-20 minutes, and then as I say that, instantly. Oh yeah, because YouTube is fully aware that they have never honored the fact that I'm entitled to super chats because I've met the prerequisite, both prerequisites, the watch time hours and the subscriber count numbers. They have never done this. I have submitted it many times just for it to kick back the same email that I filled out many times, the same form I filled out many times, just for them to create some sort of fucking scam out of the fact that they're never enabling things. They're not doing their jobs. They aren't doing it. And you see 2 concurrents in here, yet it shows 1. Those 2 concurrents were sitting in here for how long, yet it shows 1. Thus proving them lying and capping concurrents. Thus proving them lying and capping concurrents. Thus proving them lying and capping concurrents. And you can also see, at no point in time has the view count moved. At no point in time have we gotten any new views counted on this stream. The last 5 to 6 views that we have seen have not been counted whatsoever. And we also saw 2 concurrents in here for, well, roughly about 20 to 30 seconds. And this appeared to have counted 1 concurrent and make it look like that 1 concurrent was in here for a couple of seconds. That's what this looks like. It says it right fucking here. And you literally just saw in front of your face 2 concurrents right here for the past 20 to 30 seconds, and then proceed to see YouTube fucking lie and put a 1. Just like you see a 0 here for the past 20 to 30 minutes where 1 concurrent was coming in and out of the stream. This is a scam that they are using to break the streams, where they are trying to figure out and orchestrate a new way to scam the streams to detrend, so that way we don't get any traffic. It's just a scam. So this is what YouTube employees do all day long. What Google employees do all day long, guys. They sit here and they scam people. And steal money. Because I guarantee you the person that's doing this is a YouTube/Google employee. The person that stole my identity, that works, that stole my identity, that has that cell phone, that again is saying that they have my name and live at this address. Nobody else has ever lived at this address with my name. Nobody. Not a single person, ever. Nope. Nobody else has ever lived at this address with my name. No, nobody. So, and also I'd like to reiterate to you, I have never lived in Florida or California. So again, why is somebody somehow tricking their system into thinking that, you know, there's just somebody, and then using that data, that information, all these phone lines under their name. Yeah, they got shitloads of phone lines under their name. Isn't that interesting? And then their info is tied to some old lady that lives out in California. Oh, that's, boy, that's fascinating stuff. So, I've rationalized that Google sits here and does this. Google employees sit here and scam people. And some of them might be content creators and have found out about me and sitting here trying to create a problem for me because they know flat out that I will expose them. I do not give a fuck. That's why. Because normally, they can do something about it. With me, you're not going to intimidate me. Fuck you. Come get some. Yeah, that's the point. And, so when they know their normal intimidation stuff, it's just not working with me. That's the point. So you see the result of this, and then you see this one come back in too. I want to reiterate to you, this one concurrent is constantly coming back in and hiding their concurrent, as they did through this entire section, and then proceeded to come in with trackers on what I said, instantly coming in this section right here where you see the 1, and then only recording it as 1 view, even though it was 2. And then this concurrent came back again, and it's no longer counting. Still 0. So I'd like to point out that this is very clearly the scammer with trackers on what I'm saying, and this is the person that is being used for this scam. Whoever is in here right now, you, if you are not the stalker, you are the one being used. Because you are the one sitting in the stream and your fucking data is not being recorded. Why the fuck are you in my stream and your data is not being recorded? You want to answer for yourself? Yeah, that's what I thought. And then we see the evidence of Google scrambling to continue lying about this. Yep, we see the evidence of Google scrambling so they continue to lie about this. Again, 2 concurrents, yet we see a 1. Fucking liars. You're literally just lying. There's 1 concurrent all throughout this entire section here where it says 0. There was 2 here instantly that were in here for like 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, and you counted it as 2, like 2 or 3 seconds. And then 2 more came back in instantly back here, and again you counted it as like 2 or 3 seconds as 1 concurrent. So again, YouTube, Google, you are liars. Google, you are liars. So anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. So again, if you it doesn't take much to confirm the scam that they're running to commit the acts of terror. And again, there are acts of terror being committed. Real attacks, real damage being done. Damage. Not just this stream. I'm talking actual damage, terror attacks being orchestrated by Google to attack Americans. And this is very serious. The FCC is in charge of the very thing that they are causing. They are #1 federal agency on the list that regulates the thing that they're involved with here. #1. And so here's what we want to get across to you, that we already reported this and we already found evidence of them trying to hide this, trying to bury it. You should see these results. It's absolutely absurd how much Google sits here and spends time trying to bury things. So, like, remember the article I showed you? I test things. I see if I can use like some data points to quickly find the article that I spammed in chat a couple of days ago. And this thing is so buried at this point. Nope. I haven't even found it by the 4th page. Yep, I haven't even found it by the 4th fucking page. This thing is buried. And that's Google doing that. That's Google burying that. This is a real FCC investigation into the fact that Google leaked your information over 10 years ago. And this is what caused a problem for my martial arts business at the time. Because it was listed on Google, and this was actually interfering with that. See how they're trying to update this and make it seem like it's happening after the fact? No, these are the ones that just came in. Again, there's no 2 here. They still haven't recorded the second one that came in earlier. And I'd like to reiterate the fact, this is 6:30 right here. Just look at the fucking time. Like, literally all you gotta do is track the fucking time. They're lying. Fucking liars. It's all Google. It's literally just them lying. One sec here. So we do it this way. Okay. This is big. This is what I was sharing in chat the other day. This is evidence of Google over a decade ago, over 10 years ago, intentionally getting more of your data that they should have, and then leaking it. Yep. This is evidence of Google getting more of your data than they should have over 10 years ago and then leaking it to all of the scammers doing what they're doing now. So here you go. Here's all the evidence. It's all right here. This is all they needed. Now they can endlessly fuck with anybody tied to Google, which is everybody. Yep. And if you're not tied to Google, if you're tied to Microsoft in some way, they can still fuck with you. So, yep, there you go. All the trackers, all the cookies. There you go. That's a .org too. You do realize .org is non-profit, right? Yeah. .org. Stop trying to sit here and pretend like you're not fucking doing it, Google. It's literally just you. So, yeah. There it is. I mean, you don't... It doesn't even take you that long to read. It really doesn't. It really does not even take you that long to read. Google denies obstructing the investigation, even though they did. Google obstructed the investigation. Look, Google's critics will see evidence of duplicity or evil on Google's part. I see something that looks more like negligence and insufficient oversight. But the history of the episode is disturbing. One does get the sense in the wake of the SEC report that Google's public statements about this being a mistake were much more spin and damage control than honest explanation of what happened. Yeah, no fucking shit. Which is what they always do. Damage control instead of honesty. Fucking douchebags that make over $30 fucking billion a year are on fucking damage control. What a bunch of fucking douchebags. There's also a bit of a pattern here. Most recently, Google's behavior around circumventing iOS Safari privacy settings seems to reflect a similar paternalistic attitude towards consumer privacy. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Safari is the browser for iPhones, I believe, right? I could see that, yeah. I believe rather than put the matter behind Google, it will fuel a perception that Google needs to be monitored or restrained. Yes. Yes. And it isn't. Indeed, it will be used as evidence by those on both sides of the Atlantic who believe Google needs regulatory intervention. Read the report yourself and decide. I already did. It's disgusting. It didn't even take me past the second page to be disgusted. I was disgusted on the first page, then I got to the second and third page and I was like, holy shit. Are you serious? Notice how nobody comes in here when I have the thing on the screen? When I'm confirming that they're lying about the views and I put the thing on the screen, it becomes a lot harder for them to start lying about it because I'm actually proving in real time they're lying about it. So you notice how we get even less views as soon as we put that on the screen. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, I'm out of here.